Do you want to be an entertainment lawyer? Yeah. You want to work your ass off for the next 3 years, learning from me, who I've been busting my ass for 12 years, and Cody for 10, and Gabe for 6, and Meg for 10, and everybody for 10. I don't see my family for 3 weeks at a time. Do you want to learn from someone like me? Don't ask me how much you want to make. You should be paying me to teach you.
He's recognized as one of the top music lawyers in the United States by Billboard magazine. Pierre Hajjad represents some of the music's most renowned artists, producers, composers, and record labels with special focus in the Latin genre. Additionally, his dedication, achievements, and leadership earned him an induction into the marquee Who's Who on the list of top music lawyers in America. His extensive client roster includes multi-platinum certified celebrities, as well as multi-Grammy award-winning artists, among others. Hajjad obtained his music degree from Boston's prestigious Berklee College of Music. And he studied music, business, and marketing, as well as jazz at the University of Miami. In 2009, he graduated cum laude from the St. Thomas University School of Law.
Woo!
And ever since then, he's won numerous cases. A lot of his clients, which several has gained national recognition. Pierre he's been an invited guest to University of Miami, FIU Law, Florida State University, Full Sail, SAE, and of course, St. Thomas University School of Law. In addition to other prestigious institutions regarding entertainment law and the School of Business and Music, he's won nationally recognized cases in the realm of international law. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our guest, Pierre Hajjad.
Amazing introduction.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
A pleasure.
A pleasure.
It's an honor to be here.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Pleasure. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Promise there's no vodka in this. It's just Coke. So first of all, I'm so happy to see a lot of faces because entertainment law is super niche, right? Super niche. There's so many aspects of entertainment law to learn. And a lot of people, and I know when I was in law school, I mean, I have a music background, I'll get into that now. But based on what general population that was interested in entertainment law knew, they didn't really know what it was about. They just knew they wanted to be in entertainment. But really, it's super grand, right? You could do from TV to film to just general IP. You can get on the litigation side. You can get on the music side. You can only represent Disney cast members. Like, it's super broad in such a niche practice, right? That's what I want you guys to understand. So it is a passion-driven field. You gotta like this. I am sorry if I curse. The lawyer in me will come out a little bit. I'm so sorry if I do curse. But it is a passion-driven field. Before I get into that, I'm gonna put my email up. If I do not respond, I will respond eventually. Sorry, group.com. If you guys have any questions. These are my handles. I'm always teaching people little snippets about the law on Instagram. I'm trying to do it on TikTok. It's not working. And especially YouTube and eventually LinkedIn. So, entertainment law. How many of you have a music background? Just raise a hand. 3. Great. You don't need a music background to practice in entertainment law. Does it help? Sure. You got a head start because you understand maybe some of the theory behind music. And when you're talking to an artist and they're like, come to the studio, I want you to hear some records, you're gonna understand what they're doing, right? So if you've never been in that environment, maybe there's a little bit of a learning curve. But you don't need a music background. You just have to understand that you need to eat and sleep music or entertainment to be successful in entertainment law. Why? Because it's such a demanding practice. It is not 9 to 5. It's not 9 to 9. It's 9 to whenever your client decides that he doesn't need to talk to you anymore. That's entertainment law, right? But if you like that, if you love what you do, you're gonna enjoy it, right? It's like if you're a soccer player, you like to get on the field. You're gonna train every day as much as you can to be the best. You're gonna do the same thing in entertainment law. So I started, when I was a kid, I was in music, right? So I was always either playing the piano. My mom was a pianist, still is, but mom was a pianist. I started liking drums. I studied it in middle school, high school, the jazz band, the marching band. I knew I wanted to be in music somehow. And then when it came time to go to college, I was like, all right, I have no idea how to make a living off of music, but I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm young, I'm 17, 18, whatever age you are when you get out of high school. So I went to Berklee College of Music. I did 1 year over there in Boston. It was way too cold for my taste. Amazing city, amazing school, transferred over to UM, and I knew right off the bat I wanted to be in music business. I knew I can put music to work with the business side of things, and there you go, I can make a living out of music, right? Studied that, graduated for 5 years. I went out and I was like, I gotta figure this shit out. Like, I put up a studio, started recording my friends, producing some records, playing drums. I went on tour with some major artists. I was like, fuck, I'm making it. This is good. You know what I mean? I went on tour Europe with probably one of the biggest artists in the world at the time. And I was like, shit, this is the real deal. And then I got back and I learned something. I had an epiphany that all these guys that I was working with, they knew nothing about the music business. And they were super successful and they were making a ton of money. And I knew they were gonna lose it all. So when I knew they were gonna lose it all, I was like, I came back from that tour and I said, forget this. I'm not gonna be a musician for these guys. I'm not gonna change anything for myself or for others by doing that the way I want to. I need to challenge myself. I need to learn something bigger, something better. I knew music already. I got bored of it. I wasn't challenged mentally. And I said, I'm gonna be a lawyer and I'm gonna represent all these guys. And I sat down, studied for the LSAT, came over here and spoke to Dean Garcia at the time. I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm getting myself into. What is this about? Law school, okay, great. How much, 3 years? Oh shit, okay, fine. I was like, all right, cool. Got my score, passed. Thank God I didn't have to go to the summer conditional. If you did and you're here, props to you. I heard it's hard. And I started law school and I was like, perfect. I sat in one of these desks in Dean Hernandez's torts class. That was my first class. Mind you, high school, for me, it was about music. It wasn't about studying. I was like, I'm okay with a B. I'm okay with a C. I don't care. That wasn't important to me, right? Music was important to me. Got me out of trouble. I was a good kid. I was focused on that. When I went to college, I was like, B's are fine for me. I want to do music. I already know what I want to do, but I know I need to get a degree. Well, that changed in law school. So when I got to law school and I was in Dean Hernandez's class, and at that time, I don't know if you guys have it, little mailboxes. They put all the syllabus in the mailbox a week before. And you go and you pick, oh, okay, I got to go buy this book. And I had no clue. Nobody told me this thing. And so I was like, all right, cool. I'm sitting down. Dean Hernandez goes, all right, open up. Case, what? Mr. Hachar. First damn name that he calls is mine. And I go, this was 2007, guys. So I graduated in 2009. I did the 2.5 years. I was like, I want out. I went out. And obviously, I wasn't prepared for the cases. But it was the first day of class. He had some mercy on me. Not much, but some. And I said, all right, I got to get my shit together. And so I did 2.5 years. And honestly, all I did, I let go of everything. I'm going to become a lawyer. And I'm going to be the baddest lawyer I can be. And it's not because I want to do it and get a B. No, I'm going to study my ass off because I want to learn everything. It was game over for slacking at that point. And law school changed my life because, and not because you guys here, you guys already have your story, right? I'm telling you, it gave me so much opportunity in the realm I wanted to be in, which was music, which I had no clue a year before I started law school, how the hell I was gonna make a living out of music, completely changed the game for me. Now I was like, all those people, all my friends that were rich and now they're poor, that bought the Ferraris and now they can't afford rent, I'm gonna go and sit those guys down in my office and tell them what they gotta do to keep wealth and grow and be successful in the music industry and get their shit together. So I do law school. There wasn't really an entertainment law class at the time. And I think I did the sports law, and I'll talk to you about sports in a minute. But I did the sports law, but entertainment law wasn't being offered the semester. I could take it, so I didn't even take entertainment law. But at that time, it didn't even matter to me. I could read the book front to back. I already knew, because I've been studying entertainment law the second I read that torts book, because I knew everything I needed to know, and more importantly, I knew what I didn't know. So IP was super important for me. Ira Nathanson, who's still here, I heard, and dude, I learned more in his class than any other class. I mean, to be honest with you, I still use everything I learned in his classes in my practice today, and he was ahead of the curve when nobody was talking about digital rights and the Digital Millennium Copyright Act and all the takedowns and the safe harbor provisions and all that stuff. I still use that today. Hard, like in litigation, like in front of a judge, okay? And he knew that 10 years ago, no, 14, damn, I'm getting old. 14 years ago. So.
I had no idea what you were saying about the mailboxes.
No?
I know.
Ah, I knew it. Somebody knows, right? Meg, I have some people from my office, well, I'll talk about that later, but some of my office colleagues are back there. So I said, great. I went hard. I was like Summers, crammed credits, really did well. I knew this is serious. Like I couldn't waste time. You know, I remember I didn't take one gap year. I took 5 gap years. I graduated UM in undergrad, and 5 years later, I started law school, which to me was an advantage. I had no time to waste. There's no fucking time to waste in law school. This is real. You're gonna get out of here with $200,000 in debt. If you're lucky, maybe less. It's worth every penny, unless you don't take it serious. Then you're throwing money away, period. End of discussion. And I was like, I'm not gonna do that. And I geared up. I lived poor for 3 years, hacked up, got married, had a kid, 4 days before con law exam, which was crazy to me. But it doesn't matter. There's no time to waste. You're in there, you're grinding, then you gotta take the bar. I had no life. Remember, I graduated in 2009, December. So my friends graduated the next semester. From December to that February 27th, whatever the day it was, I had no Christmas. I had no birthday. I had no New Year's. I didn't care. It's 1 year, guys, it's 1 year. I was studying. I was in this library. I was at the UM library. I was at a Starbucks. I was anywhere I could concentrate on those 21 or 20 some subjects that you think are impossible to study and know everything about, and they're gonna pick 3 of them for the essay. Okay, it's not like you gotta learn 6 subjects and they're gonna pick 3. You could take some odds on that. You can't take odds on the Florida bar. By the way, the Florida bar is super easy. It's an easy exam. I don't care what anybody tells you. The Florida bar is easy. What's hard is all the material you have to learn to take the exam. That's the hard part. But the test is easy. The 135 still? To pass? 135?
Not sure.
Okay. If you learn how to take the exam and you understand all the subjects, you go in there, it's easy. If not, you didn't study hard enough, or it's not for you. Period. I couldn't take that chance. Remember, 5 years. I'm 2.5 in after that. Okay, do the math. I was like, I'm not doing another year this thing. This shit. Come on, where are those? I'm not doing another year this. Pass the exam, perfect. And I was like, I know what the hell do I do? I'm not gonna go work at a big law. I did one interview at Greenberg Traurig. Guess what? They didn't hire me. I was like, pfft. Then I asked a friend who's been out for a year. They're like, bro, they're milking me. I can't, I'm skinny, I lost weight, this is crazy. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do what I always wanted to do. I'm gonna go I'm gonna open up my law firm and I'm gonna represent all those friends that needed help and nobody would help them because it's a ruthless business, the entertainment business. It's cutthroat. It will make you or break you. Or I'm gonna go work for someone else. Right off the bat, I was like, no, I'm not gonna waste time. I knew if I went out of law school and I had to go get a job, they were gonna milk me. I was gonna waste important years of my life when I can take that time and build. Once you get that paycheck, guys, as a lawyer, it's hard to go back not to get that paycheck, okay? I don't care if you're starting at 50 grand a year or 250 grand a year. Whatever your circumstances are, you start depending on that because now you've been milked for 3 years. You have nothing. You guys are borrowing money for food and shelter. That's what you're doing. So when you get that check, you're buying the car, you get in the apartment, you get in the house, you get in the shoes, you get into this, you get into that. You can't afford 1 month not to have that paycheck. You're dependent on it. For me, that wasn't an option. And I said, I don't want the paycheck. I don't want to depend on a paycheck because then I'm not going to have the freedom to do what I know I went to law school to do. And that's entertainment law. And so that first year, what is it? They hung up a shingle. That's what they say in law school. I hung up my shingle, put my name on it, which was a different name at the time because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. So it was like, I don't know, the Hachar, I don't know what. Now it's the Hachar Law Group. We're a group. I'll go into that later. And I was like, all right, I took my first client. And he was a celebrity with Telemundo. And he needed to get out of a record deal because he signed not the wrong people, they were the right people, it just wasn't the right fit. That's a different story. And he was big, but he was my friend before, nobody knew him, he was from Miami. And I was like, all right, cool. I started fighting with the other side. My first letter was the rudest, most ruthless letter from an entertainment lawyer I've ever gotten. I was like, holy shit. It was a very aggressive letter. That attorney is now a very good friend of mine. And he's been practicing a lot longer than me. He's about to retire. I hope he doesn't, because we do a lot of cases together. Cutthroat. I got him out of the contract. I didn't look back on her ever since. Successful with one client. That one client brought me another client. I was good with that client. And so on and so forth. And then I learned that if you do good work, you'll never have a problem in any field, but particularly the entertainment business because entertainment is such a small niche. It's a tight circle. My first 2 years, even with my music background, nobody let me in. I was getting those letters from all those lawyers. This guy had a law school 2 years. Pff, pound him. Send the litigation guy. Pound him. Threaten him with a fucking malpractice complaint. Pound him. I was like, got a malpractice letter? Holy crap. Who cares? Doesn't matter. It's part of the game. That's what you learn the first couple of years. But what did I do that was super important for setting up the success? I learned about every type of law I could. When somebody walked into my office and said, hey, yeah, I have a contract. I produced these records. I don't know what the splits are. I'm not getting royalties. Can you check this out? And then they have different questions like setting up corporate structure, or they made a little money, they want to buy a house, or they want to get out of contracts and they're highly in debt. And I was like, man, maybe I do need to learn bankruptcy law. And maybe I do need to learn some corporate law. And oh man, maybe I do need to learn real estate. What did I do my first 2 years? First of all, my first year, I made 30 grand. Okay, put that in perspective. 30 grand, okay? I was still living off my bar loan that they still give and my 30 grand. I didn't care. You know what I did? I reinvested all my time and energy. Federal court, studied, got licensed in federal court. Southern District, Middle District, because I knew I was gonna have cases in mid-Florida. No, actually no. I had one case, and that was my excuse to get licensed there. I got licensed in bankruptcy. I became a title agent. I learned real estate law. All my first 2 years, I was like, I need to learn everything. Everything. I got into an accident. I did my own damn case. Why? I want to understand when my celebrity walks in the door and he's worth $50 million and he has a question about some other shit, what am I gonna do? Yes, Mr. X or Miss X. Yeah, let me send you to my, no, you got the $50 million celebrity in your office. You need to answer questions to these people, to their questions. You cannot not know something just because you do entertainment law. And so those first 2-3 years were critical. They were the basis of my practice today, which is now I'm on year 12. We have 15 people on my team. We're growing. We're hiring 2 more lawyers. That's 17 people. my practice in the next 3 years. I want to take it to a 40, 50 person practice focused on entertainment with different arms to give the best service to celebrities and their families and friends as possible, because they don't want to, nobody trusts lawyers. My best clients that hug me, take pictures with me, and love me don't trust me. They don't trust anybody in this business. This is so important for you guys to know, because the entertainment business, like the sports business, they're ruthless. These guys that you see, if you're into sports, basketball players, man, their agents are their king. Got them 150. There's big money in sports, guys. There's more money in sports than music, by the way. Now it's catching up because of the sale of catalogs. When you build IP, you could sell that. It's a property. It's like real estate. You build a catalog of IP, like you're building a portfolio of real estate, and then you go out and you put a multiplier because that makes income over time, and then you sell it. And there's sales of catalogs in the 500, 600 million range right now for individuals. Shakira just sold her catalog, $300 and something million. Luis Fonsi just sold it. They announced it last week. And others, right? David Bowie, what's this guy's name? And anyway, Bruce Springsteen. Everyone's selling their catalog. They're cashing out, right? There's big money. But sports, it's big money. They don't trust their agents. They're best friends with their agent until the agent said, I couldn't get you that one. They gave it to LeBron. They don't want to talk to you anymore. They're going to go to LeBron's fucking agent. And they go. You're going to lose the client. I didn't want to take those risks. You have to understand that's going to happen. What's the best position you could put yourself in to learn as much as you can around whatever field you want to be. So if you want to learn about music, you got to learn around that, because musicians make money. They make royalties. And guess what? They have a 5 to 7 year window. Those 5 to 7 year windows are critical. Once you have a hit, 3 years down the line, if you don't have a team that you've built and you haven't structured your business the right way, you start losing. Year 4 and 5, nobody knows you. You went from making $7 million, $8 million a year, where you could have scaled that to 100 million, and nobody knows you. Nobody cares about you. When you're the hottest artist, you don't understand. You're in the room with these guys. They draw so much attention. They draw so much money. And if they waste that opportunity, when they say money draws money, they're right. You're in a room. You're in a room. You're in a venue. You're backstage at a concert, and you've got a celebrity in that room. There's a line out the door of everybody that wants to go talk to them. Anybody. The richest man in that city will walk in that room and tell them whatever you need. Whatever you need. They feel like God, whatever you need. Whatever you need. They can lose all that if they don't have the proper representation. If they don't have a lawyer like one of you guys one day telling them, hey, I don't care if what I'm about to tell you don't like, but I'm not going to kiss your ass. You shouldn't do that. They're going to steal your money. You should do this, this, and this. Go see this CPA. Go see this person. Go see that agent. And I'll draw up all these agreements. Otherwise, I'm sorry, I cannot help you. And that leads me to a very important point in entertainment law, which is conflicts of interest. I think it's super important that you guys understand that being a lawyer will put you in certain situations of privilege. It'll also put you in certain situations of trouble. Why? Because you're in a position to help people, and people know that, and they will take advantage of it quickly, faster than you know. They'll outsmart you. It's just that simple. So in entertainment, there's a very high probability that you are going to be faced with a lot of conflicts of interest. A guy with a lot of money is going to sit at your table. They're going to grab the stacks of cash. I need to sign this guy, but I need you to help me with the contract. He doesn't want a lawyer, so if you can look it over for him too, just explain it to him and explain it to me. And I'm sorry, I can't do that. I can't be on both sides of the court. No, but you don't understand. Like I said, look, on certain situations, you both sign a waiver. There's certain things you can do. You can do certain things that will clear you. They don't care about all this shit. They care about signing that guy, putting the money on the table, and that's it. And it's not a $3,500 retainer. They'll put whatever. Because if that guy's hot, and that guy's gonna make them $15, $20 million, they're gonna put real money on the table of the attorney. I don't know if you guys seen Cocaine Cowboys and the attorneys. Have you guys seen the new Netflix?
Yeah.
My hats are off to those lawyers. That shit is cutthroat. Those guys don't play. You're gonna be in positions. There's only one answer to that problem. You have to do what's right. There's only one answer to that problem. You have to do what's right. Otherwise, a lawyer like me is going to take you down. And that's how it is. And that's how I learned it the first 2-3 years. You have to do what's right. Otherwise, somebody is screwing somebody else. And that's not why we became lawyers. It's just not why we became lawyers. If you became a lawyer to take people down for the wrong reasons, you're in the wrong school. You're in the wrong profession. You will get weeded out or you will be in jail. It's easy, simple. Entertainment law puts you in these positions and it challenges you. I know you guys weren't expecting all this shit, but it's important for you to know. It is also, in my opinion, one of the best fields to be in. It allows you to play the game of music and business or entertainment or sports. It allows you to meet some amazing people. It allows you to make a very good living. It allows you to do whatever you want to do as long as you put your mind to it. That is entertainment law. You get to meet clients that will want to wine and dine you for the right reasons. I've been to so many places. If you got any, does anybody follow me on Instagram? I know she does. Yeah, you? And then, thank you, Daniel. Because Daniel runs my content on Instagram. You should follow me. And I'm always traveling. Even when you don't know it, I'm traveling. And my clients take me a lot of places. They take me on mega yachts. They take me on mega cities. They take me to places I never would have gone if I wasn't an entertainment lawyer. That's the fun part. That's what people see. But that's 7% of being an entertainment lawyer. So I don't want to get you guys confused. But it's such an amazing perk to be able to fly to these different countries and meet some of the most important people of that country. I go to Colombia a lot. One of my biggest clients is from Colombia. He lives here in the States, super successful. One of the biggest DJs in America on the Latin side. When I go to Colombia, man, the opportunities, I'm in the room with, maybe this year I'm in the room with the president of the damn country. Like, I gotta be ready for that. And by the way, when you get into that room, it's not like, oh boy, you can't be scared of anything. By the way, some of these guys, you may not like their political view. It doesn't matter. It's not about you. It's not about that person. It's about your client. You're there for the client. If he needs to meet you and he needs you, you got to zealously represent him. And you're going to be in that room and you're going to have to understand that you need to have conversation with some very intimidating people. And I think it's amazing because the opportunities are endless of what you can do for yourself and for your practice and for your clients, right? Because then the client goes back and he says, oh, remember that minister? Yeah. Oh yeah, he wants to book us for 5 shows in Colombia. Okay, great. Just let him know we won't do it for less than 200 grand a show and make sure that they have everything we need on our rider. Perfect. And then I'm stuck speaking to somebody important from another country, closing a deal, and you're making these amazing relationships. I would never make the relationships I have now if I weren't an entertainment lawyer. I would never make the relationships I had now if I would have chosen a different path. Like I started with, it's a passion-driven field because it demands so much of you. Why does it demand so much of you? Well, I'm a husband. I have a dog. I have 3 kids. I had a cat. He did not like the madness. He left. She left. I got 15 team members on the team. So you're managing a practice, but you're also a professional. It is a lot of responsibility. And guess what? You're not going to know all the answers. You have to ask. You have to build a network around you. Your network is so important. I didn't really have a mentor, but I had key people that I was blessed to have by my side that I've met along the way that have helped me tremendously. And I understand when credit is due. This attorney that slammed me down and wanted to sue me and malpractice and this, I was like, dude, what are you talking about? I called a friend. Yo, you know about my practice. Yeah, that's my boy. Yeah, hold on. Bro, you have nothing to worry about. Don't worry about it. Now I'm like, if you're not getting a malpractice complaint, you're not doing your job. I swear. I don't know a lawyer. Hold on. Meg, have you had a malpractice complaint against you?
Yeah.
Gabe, have you had a malpractice against you?
Diffused but threatened.
A bar
many
complaint?
times. Threatened, yes, but has it come? No.
Don't lie to me. Just kidding. So Meg is one of the attorneys at the office, so is Gabe. Patricia's my right hand. She runs everything. and Daniel's our content guy.
Can we note that the two attorneys in your office are from St. Thomas?
They are STU alum.
We're all from St. Thomas.
I know. By the way, Gabe speaks tomorrow.
We'll be talking tomorrow on pretty much probate, guardianship, estate planning, all that. Not so much fun stuff, but pretty much if you want to.
But he handles a lot of our celebrity, a lot of our celebrity estate planning. Which, if you've read the Prince estate, he died without any estate planning. It's catastrophic. That's where Gabe kicks in, and he does an amazing job. He's also a super aggressive lawyer, but down the line, he's by the book. Meg, our clients get divorces. They need prelimps. They need all that type of litigation that has to do with family. They have a lot of babies with a lot of different people.
A lot of different countries.
In a lot of different countries. Meg is a super aggressive family litigator, and she's on our team. And when I say aggressive, I don't mean they're assholes, they're bad people. These are some of the best people you can meet. But they are doing what's right for their client. And you know what happens when they can push what's wrong? They step back and tell the client. These two and everybody in my office. You push what's right, you do not push what's wrong. It's not right to do. You have a question?
I have 3 questions.
Oh, I love this.
Number 1.
Yes, ma'am.
When did you turn your income around?
Oh,
I know that your first
that's a good
year is
question.
30,000, but
First year, I know money's important. First year, 30,000, 30-some thousand. I didn't make shit. Next year, 40-some thousand, 47,000. I was like, oh, you're making your own living, 30, 47. Then I hit like 70. Then I jumped because I understood the game. It took me 3 to 4 years, which I'm going to talk to you how you pay your dues here, right? 4 years, and then it scales to 7 figures, guys. You make as much money as you want to make in this business as a lawyer.
You said that it took you about 3 years to
Yeah.
make that jump.
Yeah.
Do you think that maybe working for someone in the entertainment industry, like in a
Mhm.
firm,
Yeah.
would have shortened that gap?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If you take the average of 10 years on the first 3 of your making and my jump from year 4 to year 11 now, if I don't make this in a month, I'm fucked. The average just outweighed. So I took that, this is what I told you. I didn't want to depend on this because I wanted to make it on this. Everybody in our law firm, the structure that they have is they can make as much money as they want. How can I support that? Yes?
So when you're representing an artist that's making most of their money in live touring,
Yeah?
between the day-to-day manager who's advancing shows,
Mhm.
the major agency like the UTA who's
Yep.
negotiating,
Yep.
with the in-house attorneys who are reviewing those contracts.
Great question.
What's the primary value add an entertainment attorney brings specifically with like the live touring of the client?
Amazing question. Checks and balances. That's the answer. So when you have, just so you guys know, when you have, hold on. Everybody got this, right? I'm gonna leave it up. Nobody's got this. Artist, right? So the artist has a manager, an agent. Very different roles. By the way, this team can be comprised of like 30 people, right? Road manager, a co-manager, assistant manager, pick out the M&Ms backstage manager, whatever the hell you want to call it, right? And then there's an agent, right? There's a lawyer, okay? There's a tax advisor. There's a business manager, okay? Everyone has a fiduciary duty on this to the artist, including the lawyer. Fiduciary duty. I've litigated this. This one's questionable. It's a fiduciary duty. I don't care what anybody says. There's case law on this, right? There's other people. The artist and the manager have a very close relationship. What he tells these guys, they negotiate. Yeah, we're going to do the 19 shows. Yeah, at least 200 grand. But they don't find the opportunities for the artist. They manage the artist. Who finds the opportunities for the artist? The agent. The agent is a licensed individual. So if you ever are in the practice of law in entertainment and this agent is procuring employment for your artist and they don't have a license like lawyers do, but for agents, like for realtors, every state has their own law, and they're not doing a good job, sue his ass. You're out and you're going to get damages. Why? He's not licensed. It's unpracticed agent. Unlicensed practice of an agent. He is the one that has their in-house counsel, okay, negotiate and close these deals, these contracts, right? For whatever, a 20-city tour, which they've already talked to the manager, and the manager has said $200K per show, plus your rider, Your rider just basically says, I need these type of speakers, these type of this type of equipment, this type of backline. I need 4 suites, 1 presidential suite, 3 junior suites, 14 people travel, 2 on business class, 2 on coach, blah, 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 etc. That's a rider. That's part of your contract. If they don't comply with that, the promoter, you're not getting paid. You don't have to put your artist on the plane. There's politics involved. I'll get with that later. But agent has the authority to negotiate this contract. But why? The artist has a lawyer. Well, because everything they're going to put here was negotiated with here, and every single one of my clients, agents, send me the final contract for review. And you know what I do? I pick up that thing. I'm like, brother, there's nothing for me to do. Close the deal. Brother, this is wrong. I'm not letting my artist do this. Guess what? This unit, in theory, is stronger than this unit because it's the checks and balances. That's how you set up a real successful artist, because the artist, if he doesn't have all sides, by the way, the artist can say, no, I don't agree with you. I'm going to do this. He's the client.
I just saw on the website that do you guys also represent Live Nation?
We have, yes.
So what happens when the lawyer, going back to conflicts of interest, what happens when the lawyer represents the client in the vote?
Rule 4. Gabe?
It's 4-1.9 is for former clients. 4-1.7 is concurrent. So you have a concurrent client, you should look at that rule. But it's gonna come down.
It's not a concurrent client, it's not. So when you're representing Live Nation, you definitely cannot represent somebody on the other side. Once that deal is done,
But you have to. Right.
anything I do for this artist, anything I learned from Live Nation that can go against my client, I have to disqualify myself. That's what the rule says.
Or disclose and get a waiver.
Or disclose and get away, or which happens a lot. If there's no liability to it, and Live Nation says, I have to fucking close this, pardon my French, I have to close this, and then the other side, and the artist goes, I'm not closing this with anybody else but you. I go, okay, fine, sign a waiver. Live Nation, you're okay that I'm gonna represent this party? Yeah, artist, okay, sign here, give me your blood. 19 witnesses. Tell you something about clients. And then you close it. But yes. And we have a great relationship with Live Nation, and they do a lot of deals with our clients.
How would you suggest navigating attorneys that maybe don't necessarily want to litigate and maximize these relationships and have more of a financial gain and being more transactional, just writing the contract and representing and then diversifying the income? Amazing.
So you could do anything you want in entertainment. And I have great friends that are lawyers in entertainment, and all they do is transactional. Not everything is fight, but even as a transactional attorney, you're gonna have to fight a little bit, because you're gonna have to tell the other side that's trying to close this deal, we're pulling out, and they're gonna threaten you. This is a game. Guys, this is all a game with real scenarios, bro. You're gonna have to play the game. But if you don't have to be a litigator. No, honestly, litigating, it sheds years from your life, guys. Litigating is when two parties cannot come to an agreement. It's sad that you cannot get 2 people here and 2 people here, and there's $2 million involved, and say, guys, take one and take one, or I'm gonna take one and he's gonna take one. It's sad. You know what happens? You go to court, and we see who has the deeper pockets and the leverage. And it's gonna be the lawyers. You know? So you don't have transactional attorneys in entertainment. There are more of them than there are litigators, and they're very well needed. You got to crank out. If you know contract law, if you know the business, and you know the norms, then you will be a very good entertainment lawyer. You don't have to go to court.
You should still understand litigation for negotiation purposes and the risks that come with it.
I will tell you right now, she's absolutely right. I will tell you right now, because I've been in the courtroom and I litigated, and I hate litigation, but I hate litigating. I love litigation because it's a necessity in our business. Because when someone's doing something wrong, you got to take them to a judge, man. You got to put the powers of the United States of America in the hands of your case. That's why we live in the best country in the world. I don't care what anybody tells you. I'm from Venezuela. I was born in Venezuela, okay? I was there for 2 years, and I came here when I was 2.5 years old. There's no power in the people in Venezuela. The power is in the people in power. That's not the case in the United States. That is not the case in the United States. And you need to use that to your advantage, because that's what it's for. So, litigation's important. I don't know what I was getting to.
It was the transactional.
Oh, no, what Meg said. So, if don't study what happens in courts and cases, I cannot draft a correct contract for my client. For example, right now, there was a case in Miami, entertainment law, between a big artist and a huge producer, and they were at odds. What do they do with an artist when they don't like what's going on, the side of the company? They shelf them, right? You're not gonna sing unless I tell you, you're not gonna do this. I don't wanna tell you what's fair or not. I'm just gonna tell you what the law says. I'm not gonna tell you what the law says because it's gonna come out on camera. And I don't agree with it. Sometimes, there you go, I'm gonna say it. Sometimes, there's my disclaimer. You can stop somebody from singing. You say, okay, you're stopping their livelihood? What do you learn in contracts law? Negative covenants. You cannot force someone to do something, but they cannot go and do it with somebody else. You cannot, if you can calculate damages, it's a different story because you have a remedy at law. I hope you guys, 2 L's, who's 1 L here? Whoa! All right, I'm gonna circulate this video. You're gonna watch this next year.
You need to open up a summer associate program at your firm.
We're going to, and we've been talking about that, but now we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make that happen. But to finish that, this case that just went down changed the way a contract provision in that contract with an artist was interpreted. And we went back and started changing our contracts. If I wasn't in touch, and Cody, who's not here from my office, wasn't in touch with what's going on in litigation, we wouldn't know that. And somebody will pick at our contract and tear it apart. Post that case, not prior. Prior to that case, it is what it is. That's why there's a clause in every contract that says, if any provision within this contract is deemed unenforceable, it does not unenforce the totality of the agreement. That's what it's there for. That's what it's there for. Questions?
So this is something I'm sure everybody who's a member here is wondering. I'm definitely wondering it. You obviously mentioned you started your own shindig when
Yeah.
you started your own practice.
Yeah.
So this doesn't necessarily apply to you, but when you're hiring,
Yeah.
what is something that you look for in young attorneys
Great
that sets
question.
them apart, or something that they can do to kind of along law school, or even at something
Great
that
question.
they can do to get their foot in the door, set themselves apart?
Great question.
You know?
It's such a niche market. There's so many people trying to get in this business. It is cutthroat, it is very tight, and it's very circular. You need to be willing to work no matter what. Someone comes to my, listen, we're hiring an entertainment lawyer right now. And it's like, well, how much? No, what do you mean how much? Do you want to be an entertainment lawyer? Yeah. You want to work your ass off for the next 3 years, learning from me, who I've been busting my ass for 12 years, and Cody for 10, and Gabe for 6, and Meg for 10, and everybody for 10. I don't see my family for 3 weeks at a time. Do you want to learn from someone like me? Don't ask me how much you want to make. You should be paying me to teach you. I swear, you should be paying me. If I had someone like, I look back, and I'm not saying this pretentiously. If I had someone like me teach me 10 years ago, I would have signed up, because I've had to learn the hard way, doing it every day with all these damn sharks in the tank, and your little fish going like this, until you finally bite a shark. They turn around, they smile, and they're like, oh, come swim with me. That is, so you look for people that want to swim with you and learn. Everything will pay off if you have that mindset. I don't care if you're making 50 or 250. Doesn't matter. Because that's what it takes. You want to, I tell everybody, if I wanted to do med mal, I would have made 7 figures quick. 2-3 years, you can make fucking 1 case, guys, as an associate. You just bring in the case and you get a referral fee of 25% on a $40 million settlement. Do the fucking math, right? I don't want that. I don't want that. I want to be in an entertainment business. How do I make a living doing what I love, helping people?
What would you advise someone trying to start up their own firm coming out of law school?
Great question.
Can I add to that?
Yes.
So my question was, how did you figure out your fees, or am I even going to charge for consultations, blah, blah, blah. And also, you said you didn't have a mentor.
Yeah.
So with your first case, who were you calling anyone for
Right.
help?
So when you first start, 2-part question. when you first start, it's very scary. You do have to have the entrepreneurship. This is like any business. There's a business in music, but there's also a business in law. There are lawyers that don't practice law that make so much money, guys. They're buying $40 million homes. $40 million homes. But they're entrepreneurs, and they're using their law degree to build businesses or build practices. You have to have that chip, or you have to be willing to learn. You have to be curious about building a business, because you need to understand cash flow, balance sheet, okay? You need to understand landlord-tenant negotiations. You need to understand employees and employment law. You need to do all this shit that distracts you from being a lawyer. If you love that, you should absolutely venture into building your own practice. If you're willing to fail at it and still come out on top, you should absolutely venture into building your own practice. If you don't have that entrepreneurship, you gotta be very careful, because it's a completely different thing than being a lawyer. It's business, and you have to. I had that. I wanted that. It's a huge difference. Or you could join a firm like ours and build your own practice within our practice. These guys, like Meg, is a beast. She's a badass. She had her own practice for 9 years. She just joined our firm a couple months ago. Nothing's changing for her. We're giving her the resources to help her build her entrepreneurship chip. I want her to tenfold her income, and she does well. How? By helping her within our firm build her own practice as part of the big group. It took me 10 years to figure this shit out, guys. Same thing with Gabe. Same thing. So if you're willing to take 10 years and figure that shit out because you don't have a mentor, and even if you, by the way, if you do have a mentor, it's going to be different for you anyway. You just take the general concepts, but everything's different. This shit changes. It's a cycle. Every 5 to 7 years, it's a cycle. You know, nobody does foreclosure defense anymore, right? They're going to do it maybe in 4 or 5 years again. They don't do it. What do you do? How do you adjust? Where do you go? This is all entrepreneurship. And then to go back to you, you learn how to charge and build a business model around what you do. And by the way, there are no rules. If you tomorrow want to say, I only want to do trademarks, all right, what does the market say a trademark lawyer charges for a trademark? How many classes can I charge within a flat fee? Should I do hourly when there's an office action and it comes back and the attorney says it's descriptive? All of that depends on what you want to do for your practice. And guess what clients do when they come to our office and they go, oh, we have a thriving immigration practice. We do immigration visas for some of the biggest Latin artists in South America. We bring them all over here with their personnel and their engineers and their dancers for Coachella, for Lollapalooza, for whatever it is. We bring them all over, we get their visas. Sometimes you get a client that says, oh, but I could pay 30% less for another lawyer. Go to the other lawyer, guys. You want to go to the best brain surgeon in Miami, or you want to go to the guy that just got here from another country and you're not sure, but he's 50% cheaper? I wouldn't put my life in that person's hands. I'll take my risk over here. It's the same thing. And you, and this is hard, because you have to be the judge of your own character and success, sometimes have to say, maybe it's time to up my fees. Maybe I've gotten to the point where my experience costs more. Maybe I have to say, I cannot take your case because I just don't have the time. And that's how you, but you got to start from ground one. I can tell you right now, when I started, I felt bad charging $250 an hour. Mind you, it's 12 years ago, so $250 is like really like $350 now with inflation.
Obviously, you have a captive audience because they love hearing you speak.
Yeah.
But thank you, Joel.
That's it? We're done?
The thing is,
what are you talking about?
Yeah, 12:45. If not, I'm gonna be by default being hired by you, or at least you're gonna get my resume. But Mr. Hatcher, more than graciously said that he's willing to stay here for a few more minutes.
Yeah. Anybody wants to talk to me, we can get it on it.
If you know where my office is at, career development, just go ahead. You can walk over, ask him questions. And
yeah, I'll stick around for a little bit.
Few minutes.
Awesome.
Okay?
Thank you guys. I hope you learned something.